But first, we want to talk about things on the COVID front, specifically the vaccine. As demand for the shot goes down, local health officials are urging you not to get too comfortable.
Don't do it. Harris County health officials say 58% of residents in the county have had at least one shot. 48% in the county are fully vaccinated, which means, of course, nearly half are not. In the city of Houston alone, there are about 30 facilities open right now, all offering the vaccine for free. Our David Gonzalez live now with more on the effort to get people to take the shot. David?
Hey, Len, pop-up vaccination sites like this one here at Food Town are seeing less and less people come through, but the Houston Health Department is not losing hope. They say education and engagement is key to make sure that people get vaccinated. Efforts to get people the COVID-19 vaccine in the city of Houston have not slowed down since it became widely available earlier this year. But the number of people getting the shot has dropped significantly.
Yeah, there's a steady flow, but the flow is much less than what we want it to be.
Houston Health Department Director Stephen Williams says their goal was to have 70% of Houstonians vaccinated by now. He says the city is at about 50%.
That's not good enough for us. We need to do a lot more.
Williams says in March, the health department did about 48,000 shots in arms. In April, he says 32,000 shots were administered. Last month, Williams says the number dropped more than half to about 12,000 vaccinations.
And so far in June, we're only at 3,000.
This week, the health department is offering free vaccines at 30 affiliated sites. An employee at the Food Town on Fondren in Braeswood was one of the people that stopped by to get a vaccine. But other locations like La Michoacana Supermarket on Gessner and Beechnut weren't able to open because the nurse canceled unexpectedly. Williams says despite the drop in the number of people getting vaccinated and unforeseen circumstances that may prevent a pop-up site from opening, their goal is to provide as many options as possible for people to get a shot if they choose to.
Access is a key issue for a lot of folks. It's not hesitancy, it's access. And so we really have to go to where people are.
And the Houston Health Department says that they do plan to work with grassroots organizations as well as community leaders to help them push their message and their mission as well. As far as those incentive programs that you've heard about where you get something for getting the vaccine, well, the health department says that they work to some degree. Len?
All right, David Gonzalez reporting. Thank you.